Okay. Hello everybody, welcome back. So let's get started with this session. We are in lesson number 76 and I'm continuing with the Bootstrap. So this is number part 3, which is concepts of Bootstrap part 3. And before getting started, let me just make an announcement and also explain you about what is happening here, right? Before that, first let me check if I'm live and everything is working fine. Okay, we'll wait for some time. As I can see, most of people have not joined. We'll just wait. Okay, fine. So everything is fine. Let's get started. So as you already know that we are covering front-end playlist and we have already covered a lot of things. I have started from October and we have completed HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and we have also covered CSS preprocessors just 2 days back. And if you have not watched those sessions, please go ahead and watch it, because in those sessions you will be able to understand how CSS preprocessors works, like SCSS and SAS and less stylus, all those things. What is the need of that and why is it required? What does it do? And when you're creating any particular application, then why do we need to use SAS or SCSS and not a particular CSS, right? So go ahead and watch that. That's a 4-hour session and you'll be able to understand everything, right? So here we are back again with Bootstrap, which is part 3. So this is basically a session which is a continuation of Bootstrap 1 and Bootstrap 2. If you have not seen that, go ahead and watch it, because in Bootstrap 1 and Bootstrap 2 I've covered a lot of basic concepts, how to use the Bootstrap program and what is the link which you have to provide, then how you can provide batches, buttons and all of those things, right? This is the continuation of that. We'll have 2 more sessions on Bootstrap, like the Bootstrap part 3, this is the one, and the Bootstrap part 4. And then we are going to do some projects on Bootstrap, okay? So, and then we'll cover and complete Bootstrap. After that, we are going to start with Tailwind CSS, right? And in Tailwind CSS, we are going to understand only 2 sessions, only 2-hour sessions. We are going to just have an overview of how Tailwind CSS works. That's it, okay? So without wasting much time, let's get started with this session, which is on Bootstrap part 3. And let's see what all topics we are going to cover in this session, okay? I'll also tell you about the January plan, what is there in that. We are still confused which one to come up with, but I have got one idea, one backend programming language, which I want to take. So we are going to take that backend programming language. With that, we are going to also take one front end. So I'll tell you about that later on, okay? Now, if you guys are new here and you don't know what is happening, so I've already told you what's in the playlist and what all things I've come up with. Uh, One more thing, that I have covered 2 sessions on tips and tricks on how to crack interviews. If you have not seen that, go ahead and find a playlist in the CodeBeyond channel itself. You can find one particular playlist which is on tips and tricks, how to crack interviews. So you'll be able to get an idea or some guidance on how to prepare yourself if an interview is coming up, right? Okay, so let's get started. My name is Ritwik Raj and I'm a corporate trainer. I have been working as a subject matter expert and a research analyst in most of the edtech companies. And it's been 3 years that I've been teaching to young graduates and corporate employees of Edison and Capgemini. And I've trained more than 30K students till now. It is increasing day by day. The subject which I take is mostly into front-end development, back-end languages, database, and interview preparation, like tips and tricks on how to crack interviews. I'm planning to come up with more 2 videos on tips and tricks. So if you have any particular questions or suggestions, you can just put it in the live chat and I'll be able to take it. Okay, so there's one more thing, a very good news for you, that you can use my code RIT10 to get a free level sample test paper. So if you will use my code RIT10, this free level sample test paper will help you to get a guidance or understanding of a pattern of questions which will be asked in the actual Relevel test. If you do not have any idea what is a level, then don't worry. I'll just tell you in 1 minute. But if you're already watching my sessions, you must be knowing about Relevel, because from the starting I've been promoting this and it's really working well for all the other graduates and all the young fellows who is looking out for opportunity. So if you have not seen that, go ahead and watch it. But yeah, I'll just tell you about what is Relevel. So Relevel is a product by Unacademy which has come up with a uh, meaningful thing. Like, I'll tell you about that. So basically, many times what happens, candidate miss out on great opportunities due to multiple reasons, right? Maybe the candidate has done BSc or BCom, but they want to move into IT field, right? They want to move into IT job where they have the skills, they have the talent, but still they are not being able to get inside a company because the company is just seeing their degree and they're rejecting them, right? One more reason is the people who have done engineering, who have done BTech, they also face problems because they're from tier 3 college, and most of the MNC companies neglect tier 3 college. They want some good candidates from tier 1, tier 2. So that's why these all candidates also resumes are getting rejected, right? So that's what is written here, and that is the main reason why Relevel came into picture. So this is India's first test hiring platform by Unacademy, which is helping job seekers find their dream jobs, and you can get a job based on your skill and talent. You need not have to depend upon any degree or any of the connections which you do not have, right? So that's all about Relevel existence. Now, how you can actually register on Relevel. So if you look in the video, right, you have a description, and in the description there's a link given to Relevel, right? So if you click on that, it will be taking you to one of the website of Relevel, and you can go ahead and register yourself. You have to just put down your mobile number and click on sign up. You'll get an OTP. That's it. Now, what is the benefit of Relevel? So basically, over 50 plus companies are, including top startups and unicorns, are providing you the opportunity to get hired, and you can attempt a test which you have to give. So this test is for 1000 marks. You have to score above 700 to get eligible. If suppose you're not scoring above 700, no worries. After 1 month, you can reattempt the test for free again, right? And also, if you're scoring above 700 marks, you will be eligible for a profile. That profile will be shared with all our client companies, and those companies will check out your profile, and then they will get you interviewed and hired, right? So it's a very easy process, but yes, you have to prepare and work hard for your test. That's why we are providing a coupon code for you to get a sample paper, right? So there are 1000 plus job positions across business development, front development, and backend development. And the page which I told you, which will look something like this, once you put down your OTP and register, you will be asked to select the test of your choice. So you can do this later also. Suppose if you're not prepared, you can do this later also. But yeah, if you're prepared, go ahead and select the test which you want to give, and then book a slot when you want to give the level test, right? Slots are limited, so I suggest you to book it fast. Once you do this, then you have to fill down some of the details to get the admit card. There's a full name, email ID, birthday, current state, everything. And then at last, this is the most important part where you have to put down the code. So the coupon code is RIT10, and you have to click on apply. Once you do that, click on create account. Your account will be created with the sample paper on it. Suppose you are not using the coupon code, you won't get the sample paper. So do not forget to use it. And once you download the sample papers, you'll get an idea which kind of question can be asked, how this particular test will be formatted, whether MCQs will be there, practical will be there, how many questions from programming basis will be there, how many questions from DSA. These all things you will get an idea from this sample paper, right? So you'll be more confident about the actual test and you'll be ready about it, right? So go ahead and register for it right away. If you have done it, all the best for the exam. If you've already given the exam and you have failed, all the best for after 1 month when you'll give it again. And suppose if you have not prepared for it, then go ahead and watch CodeBeyond channel, because there's a lot of educators teaching a lot of things. So you can go ahead and watch it. Once you watch it, once you're ready with all the concepts like DSA, CP, and many things are going on CodeBeyond channel. So if you look out for it, upskill yourself. Once you're ready, then you can register for Relevel, right? So this was all about Relevel. I hope you got an idea what is it. If you have not understood any of the things or you have some doubts, put it in the live chat or put it in the comment box. We'll be able to find it and we'll be able to, answer it anyways, right? So also please do join the Telegram channel. The Telegram channel link is also given in the description. What will happen if you will join this Telegram channel, you will get an update when a particular educator is coming live with what topic. So do join this particular channel as well. Also, please do subscribe the YouTube channel, which is CodeBeyond, because more and more number of people will get to know about this, and you will also get a notification in YouTube app as well. Please like and share so that more and more number of people will get to know about our videos. Okay, perfect. So let's get started with Bootstrap. And if you remember, when we were doing Bootstrap, we have done part 1 and part 2, and we have learned a lot of things. I'm just going to open my Visual Studio Code so that I can show you what all things we did, right? So I hope you can see my Visual Studio Code, and I hope you know this folder, right? This was for our HTML and CSS, where we have understood a lot of things about JavaScript strings, and all of these. You can see how we created this. If you've not seen any of our videos, any of my videos on HTML, CSS and JavaScript, go ahead and watch it. You'll be able to understand each and every part of this, how we have created these all files, right? And what are these codes, right? Anyways, let's move to our Bootstrap folder. So we need to open a folder. I hope you remember that we created one Bootstrap folder inside which we were actually writing all the codes of Bootstrap, and this was the page. So this was the first program, I believe, and we were creating some of the things. So we were creating some of the things, and then we were removing it. So this was the last thing which we created. If you have seen my Bootstrap part 2, which was, I think I have taken at the end of November, and then I stopped streaming because of some urgency. And this was the last topic which we have studied about, and this was mostly on badges, right? If suppose you are watching this session and you are very new to it, you're not understanding what is happening here. So let me just give you a glance what is happening. Okay, so basically we were understanding Bootstrap, and I just told you and remind you about how you can add links of a CDN link of Bootstrap, which will actually include all the Bootstrap files in your program, and then you can write a code which is a predefined code. Like if you look here, container empty3, this is having a meaning, right? The meaning of this, or the logic of this particular class, is already written in the Bootstrap file which we have included here. So if you look here in the Bootstrap folder, we have included two files, which is one of CSS, one of JS, and this is what is the link of it. So if you look at this link, this is basically a CSS link, and this is basically a JS link. So this is the most updated Bootstrap link, which is having CSS properties as well and JavaScript properties as well, and this is the files and folders of it, right? So you do not have to worry about this folder. It's just that you need to understand how these predefined things works actually. So if you have not watched the other two sessions, go ahead and watch it. You'll be able to understand a lot of things from that. Now, so container empty3 is just a basic class. The logic of this is already written, so we know what it will do, right? And I hope you know what is empty3, right? And if you do not know about this, don't worry, you can go ahead and watch the sessions. You can come back. This video will be there in the YouTube playlist as well. I hope you must be knowing about warning, danger, and success. These are all the buttons which we generally have in Bootstrap to indicate some of the different kind of warnings or different kind of success buttons and all. And we have something called as batch, which was the last topic which we did, and this was resulting into something very unique. I'll just show you what it was coming up with. So I'm just going to my browser, and I hope you can see my browser. I'm just opening with my live server, and you can see this is what we were doing, and I'll just show you what is happening here. So basically we have got some buttons here, we have got some notifications kind of thing, right? And we don't know actually how we did it, but let's see. So let's come back to the code. So you can see here that we have a click badge BG warning. So it's a badge, it's not a kind of a button, it's just a badge. And with that we have written background warning. So that means in the background we want a warning kind of feature. And if you look at the click thing, there's a heading written here, and then there's a click, right? So if you look at this, we have a heading written and then we have click. Nowhere we have written that we want a yellow color in the background, right? But we have just written BG warning, and warning default color is yellow. So that's what Bootstrap does. The logic of this is already written in the files of CSS and JavaScript. So it knows what it has to do and what the user want. Similarly, if you have written BG danger, that means that it's a danger sign. That means it's a red in color, and it is the background. BG means background. So that's what it is doing if you look at the browser. Okay. Um, Also, if you are thinking that click is a little bit bigger but danger and success is a little bit small, that is only because of the h1 tag. So if you look here closely, this click is in a span which is already inside an h1. That's why the font size is a little bit much bigger, not anything else. Here danger and success is not inside any h1. If you'll keep it, it will be bigger, but we have not done that. That's why it is just like that. Also, you can see here there's something called as rounded pill, right? And the name only suggests rounded pill. Pill means the medicine, right? And the tablet, you can say the pill is already in a always in a circular, or you can say a cylindrical shape. That's why there's a name rounded pill, right? Later also, when I'll teach you some new topics in Bootstrap, you will find this word pill and pill. So you have to understand that what it will do. So rounded pill is basically to make your buttons or any kind of badge with whatever you're writing in a rounded way. So you can see here that danger is just a normal square, but success is in a rounded pill kind of a structure, right? Again, this is a div, another container in which before which we have given a horizontal line. That's what you can see here. And then we have written a container empty3 again, and then button. So now it's a button. It's not a badge. This one is not a badge. This one is a button. Basically, this whole thing is a button, right? The messages is a button, but beside messages, I want a badge, right? Which is 4. So again, understand that messages is a button, not 4. 4 is just a badge which I am putting up there. So that was a badge, and because it's danger, so it's red in color, and that's what you can see here as well, right? So this was all about my badge thing, and let's move to our new code and let's understand what all things we are going to see today. Okay. If you have any questions, please do let me know. If anywhere you are finding any doubts, please do let me know. Okay. Now see, Bootstrap is basically something which makes your code easier, right? Because you don't have to write a lot of CSS here. Bootstrap does it automatically. It is having all the CSS things in beside these links, behind these links. So you don't have to actually write a lot of code here. You can see here that I have not created any CSS file. It's just a pure Bootstrap, and it is doing amazing things, right? Even CSS preprocessors are a little bit harder, right? When you create any project, even CSS preprocessors will take time to write some codes. But Bootstrap is a framework. It's an external thing which you are including in your code. So that's why it's really very much easy for you to use these. Now, many times people do create right now, nowadays, not in 2017 or 2016, but nowadays, many people do create their portfolio web pages using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you want to become a front-end developer or a web developer, everybody is creating their own portfolio web pages, right? Now, creating a portfolio web page is very, very good because it is acting in two ways. It becomes your resume in one or the other way, and in also you can add this particular thing in your project part, right? So it works as a project also, it works as a resume also. So it's a great project which you can create. Now, whenever you create a portfolio web page, you will always see that you fill it out with all the information which you have, maybe about you, maybe what are the skills do you have, maybe what are projects you have created from small to big. You can actually have variations like beginner project, and then advanced project, and then super advanced project, something like that you can create. You can always recreate your portfolio web pages in any way, right? So similarly, you can also add some progress bars in your portfolio web page. Like suppose if you have the skills of Python, Django, and C++, right? So now Python, you are very good at it. So you have a progress bar in which you are showing that in Python you are 100%. Nobody is 100% good at it, but yeah, you are 90% good at Python. But in C++ you are not that good. You are just 60%. So you can just show them and tell them directly to the interviewer that, hey, you can look at my portfolio and you can understand what all knowledges I have and how much I'm scoring myself for my particular skills, right? So we have a particular case where we can actually, create a progress bar for ourselves. So let's try to do that. And how we'll do that is, also, if you can see, there's one problem here, that all the divs should be very much similar. Like you can see, when you're opening, close it there itself, because later on you will get confused. So do not do that. So in this case, if you can see, I already have some of the things, already have this bootstrap links and all. So I do not have to add this, but I'm just going to show you how you can actually add a progress bar. So first of all, I'm just going to write a simple uh, normal progress bar, not making it much more complex. So just writing here progress bar style. Why we need style? Because progress bar is always a kind of a bar, and I'll also show you without width what happens. So don't worry about that. So I'm just writing here width 70%. That's it. This is the only thing which we have written till now, and let's see what is happening. So this is my browser. I have not saved the file, so let's save it. Okay, one second. Have I given any color? One second, let's check out. Yeah, so the problem is, in the parent class also we need to give progress. Like you have given here, right, a class, and then you're writing something. So that's what you have to do here as well. With a class, inside a class, you have to write this, because mostly in Bootstrap, what happens, uh, your CSS and JavaScript file is written in such a manner that if you're not writing this container MT3, that means only container also, if you're not writing, then these badges and all will not work, right? So that's how it is designed. So if you're not writing progress, Bootstrap will not, or your system will not, and browser will not understand what is this progress bar, because it is something like a packages. Inside progress, you have progress bar. So without this, it won't work. So let's check out now. And if you look at it, you are seeing a progress bar, right? Again, you can see here that I've given a width 70%. So you can see here that this whole screen is 100%, and only 70% of the screen is having a blue color, right? So now you can actually modify it. You can make it smaller, bigger, or how much size do you want. You can give some margin paddings here, so that the progress bar doesn't start from the corner of the wall of the web page. It starts giving a space and then get started. So like those all things you can do. But yeah, the most common code for this is something like this. Also, guys, if you're putting some chats in the live chat, please understand that it is turned on a subscribers only mode. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, which is CodeBeyond, you won't be able to put down the chats. Okay, you won't be able to put down any messages in the live chat. So please subscribe, and then you'll be able to put down any questions if you want in the live chat. Okay, right. So let's check out what happens if I do not give any style. I'm just going to cut it for now, and let's save it. Let's go back to my browser. So you can see here there is a gray color kind of box, but it is not showing me any progress or any kind of indication that there is a progress bar. It's just a normal bar with a gray color. So till now, till the time you're not giving any particular width, that will not show you anything. Also, if we can use width, we can also use height. So let's check out what happens if I use any height. Obviously, you must be knowing what it should do, but let's see. So let's say height, and in this height, I'm just going to give, let's say 20 pixel. So let me save this, and now you can see the width is 70%, but the height is 20 pixel if I increase that 20 pixel to 40 pixel, let's check out what happens. So right now you can see there's nothing happening, right? The 20 pixel is still the same, right? It is not changing. Let's check out what is happening. So here, uh, the height which you are giving 40 pixel is to the progress bar, right? So progress bar is what? Progress bar is basically that blue color thing, correct? This progress is basically the gray color thing. So if you look at the browser again, let me go back. If I go to inspect element, if I go to body, div class progress, if you look at this, when I'm just keeping my mouse in the progress, you can see what is happening. The whole bar is showing, but if I click on this, you can see only that particular thing is showing, and now you can see that it is showing me 40 pixel, right? But this 40 pixel is not showing it to me because the progress gray color bar is not 40 pixel. Okay, so it's overflowing. The blue color thing is overflowing, so it is 40 pixel, but I can't see it because my gray color thing is not that much big. So what I have to do, I have to basically give some height here as well, which should be either larger than progress bar or equal to that. So what I'm going to do here is going to just write here height 40 pixels. So right now I'm just giving this same height. So let's see what happens. If you look here, we are now getting a bigger height, right? So the progress bar height is now much more bigger. That is nothing but doubled of 20 pixel. So now if you look at this, if I go to progress, you can see this progress, the whole progress thing is coming, the gray color part. And here you can see that only the blue color part it is showing. And because both the height is 40 pixel, so it's looking quite good. Okay, let's come back and let's try to see something else. So why is it necessary? Because you can have a different progress bars, right? You can have, let's say, one you are making it for HTML, one you are making it for CSS, one you are making it for JS, right? And you want to show it in a different height ways. So you can show it in that way. Let's say that I'm repeating this code. Let's say this time I'm just putting it as 20. I'll also make this as 20. Make it as 40. Let's go back. Let's save this. So you can see here, but I've not given BR. There should be some space. So now you can see. Okay, so this is what also you can do. Again, I have not shown you how to move these things. Later I'll show you that, but right now let's check out what's next. So now, how one person will get to know that that's a 70% or a 40%? Because if I'm interviewer and I'm watching a particular portfolio web page, I'm seeing that you know HTML and CSS and you've given a progress, but I'm not being able to understand how much percentage do you know that, because in my web page right now it's just showing a blue color line, and with that you're not being able to understand how much percentage is that, right? Because the percentage number is written in your code, and interviewer will not see your code. Interviewer will just see your portfolio web page, right? So how do we do that? So in here what you can do is, this is the progress bar. So in this progress bar you can actually add any kind of text, right? So here what you can do is you can add, let's say this is 70%, so you're just going to add a text 70%. Similarly, what I can do here is, here we can add 40%. Okay, so let's check out what is happening now. And if you look at it here now, you can see that it is saying me that it's 70%, it's 40%. Again, I've not written that should be white in color. Anywhere I've not mentioned that this text should be white in color. If you're working with CSS, this code, this style would have taken large number of lines of codes, but Bootstrap is just doing it in one line, correct? So color and all, it's all because of those CDN links which you're writing, correct? So let's move ahead and let's try to understand some more things. So again, my particular progress bar is always giving me a color which is blue color, right? What if I want some more different colors? And whenever I talk about colors in Bootstrap, you already know that colors can be given in ways of buttons. Like the colors are in a button format, like success, warning, danger, different colors we have. You can also modify the colors, but yeah, the most uh, permanent colors, or you can say the most useful colors, are already given in the name of success, warnings and all those are by default, right? So here in those cases, what we can do, let's say this is the progress bar, which is a normal color, that blue color thing, and this is one of the, let me just make it okay, let's just leave this. Okay, so we want a color which should be, something different from the blue color, right? So let's check out this one. Okay, so we have here BG success, which I've written. Again, this is the progress bar in which I'm writing, not in this one. I'll try to show you if I write something like this here also what happens, but right now just let's check out what is happening. So if I go back, if I save this, you can see what's happening. The color is getting changed, and I've just written background color should be a success color, that is a green color. That's what is showing here, right? So you can see here it's becoming green color. Similarly, you can do it in any case. You can just replicate this and you can okay, so here you can see the colors are getting changed. Okay, similarly, what you can do, let's see what happens if I write this background thing here. Okay, because that's the gray color thing which you already know, right? So let's say that I'm doing something like this here. Okay, so now you can see what's happening, right? So now you got an idea that okay, if I want to change the color, you can change the color as well. Again, don't use such bright colors. Those are just default ways of giving colors, which is success, warning and all. So you can use that, but you can also use different colors, whatever colors you want to give in the style format. Okay, so if you give in the style the colors, you can do that as well. You can change the text color as well, you can change the background color as well. Okay, but yeah, this is how it looks. By default, if it is in this manner, it looks appropriate. Still, if you have a good knowledge of colors, how to use it in your web page, you can change any color, and you can use any kind of color whichever you want. Right now I'm just removing this because it's looking very bad, and I'm just going to change these percentages as, let's keep it some random. Okay, good morning. So Bootstrap is all remembering the class names. Mostly, yes. Bootstrap needs a lot of practice because it is giving you something which will make your work easy, right? If you know these class names, if you know where to use which kind of classes and how to use it, what is MT3, what is the meaning of that, if you know all those things, if you remember that, if you have done a lot of practice, it will become handy. Okay, but yeah, Bootstrap you need a lot of knowledge. You need to remember things uh, which you do not need to do it in CSS, right? Because in CSS you do everything in your own way. Whatever class name you want to give, you can give. How to use those class names, you know. Which properties, what it will do, you know that. Height, width, padding, margin, if you know the meaning of those, you can directly use it, you can give the values, right? So it's all upon you. So that's why we say that in CSS we write the logic by ourselves. We write the logics by ourselves. But in Bootstrap, it's called as a framework. Because why is it called as a framework? because it is designed using CSS and JavaScript. So already the logic of those codes are written. You just need to use it. That's why it is called as framework. Again, React.js also, it's a framework, right? You can also say a library. But yeah, Angular, it's a framework. So it is designed using JavaScript and you have to just use those things. Everything is already given: component, directive, modules, routing, everything is already given. You have to just use it, right? So that's what it is. Okay, cool. So let's move to the code, back to it again. And yeah, so here, if you remember, we have also seen the spinning part, right? We have seen the, I don't think we have seen the spinners, but I have told you in one of the sessions that how to provide the loading thing, right? Whenever you see any web page which is loading, you will see that a circle goes on, right? Or a loading message will pop up that it's loading, right? Something kind of that will happen. Now that is not happening automatically. Programmer or developers have designed that in such a manner that if the server is taking time, then that loading spinners or those loading messages will pop up, right? So that how we can do that, I will show you right now. But again, these progress bars, you can also style it in your own manner. Like what you can do is, here if I have this BG success right here, right, that's I think a green in color. So here what you can do is, you can write progress bar striped. Okay, now what is the meaning of this? So basically the progress bar, whatever you are writing, whatever you are providing, it is having one of these style which is striped. Okay, so let's check out what does it do. I'll go to my, so you can see here what is the changes which is happening in this success part. This is getting striped here, right? Correct. So the style is getting changed. You are getting variations in your progress bar styling. So you can do that as well. Not only stripe, there are so many things other than that. You can use that as well. Again, if I come back here, many times you will see MD and docs will be written, right? Let me just show you. See, there are a lot of classes which you can, one second, why is it not showing? There are a lot of classes which you need to know, right? All of the things won't be given in any tutorials. Nobody will provide you with all the classes because there are a lot of classes which you will not be knowing also. So what you can do is you can follow the WebMD and docs. WebMD and docs is basically a platform or a document where all these details are given, right? You can follow any tutorial also, but in tutorials all the important things will be given, not all the everything, right? So whenever you create any portfolio, if you are doing all those things which is already given in tutorial, for an interviewer that will not be a unique thing. Like if I'm an interviewer right now and if you're giving me such kind of web page where you have these striped things and badges and all, I have already seen that, so I won't be amazed about what you have done here, right? Because I've already seen this many a times. I've already seen this in many of the web pages. I've already seen in many of the tutorials. I'll be amazed to see if anything unique is there which I don't know or I have not seen that in many years, right? So that you will find in MD and docs or in any of the official document of Bootstrap, right? In the Bootstrap sites as well. If you do not know how to go to Bootstrap site, you can just right here and you can see here, this is getbootstrap.com. So here you can get all the documentation of Bootstrap. Here you will get this docs. If you click on it, there's all the classes names and everything is given here. So you can follow this, and when you get to know that this is something new which I have seen and I have not seen this in any of the tutorials, nobody has used it, that thing you use it in your portfolio because that will make you stand out with other students. with other people who are getting interviewed in that company, right? So try to do this. These MDN docs and these documents of Bootstrap is really very important. It's not only about the tutorial. Tutorial is only to give you a boost up that there is something called like this, and that is how you can use it. But it's all about your research. It's all about your time giving, how you're learning these whole things, right? So do not forget to watch these documents. Many of the developers, they just mug all these things, right? And that actually benefits them in doing freelancing and all. So try to do that as well. So are you planning any session on React or Angular or any MERN stack or mean stack? Yes, I'm planning to do React and Angular. I'll be soon, we'll be planning a schedule and I'll be posting it. So schedule will be on Java first of all, because Java is on demand and we have already fixed it that Java will be there. So I'll be coming up with Java as a backend programming language because already front-end playlist is coming to an end. So front-end is already there. Only React or Angular is pending. We will take that slowly. But yeah, backend programming language was needed. So I'm coming up with Java from scratch to advance. Everything will be there in Java playlist. Again, that Java playlist will be having some 50-60 lessons like the front-end playlist is having. I think we are in our 76th lesson. So yeah, Java will be there. React Angular will also be there, but I'm not sure whether Angular will come first or React because Angular is now not in so much demand. React is. So let's check out. Angular also takes a lot of time. This is a whole lot of small topics are there in Angular which takes a lot of time. So that's why nobody is using it. But yeah, React is really very easy. So let's see what we are planning. But yeah, Java is for sure. Java, we are coming back with Java. So this was it about the progress bars. You can also animate these striped things which you have used. So again, you can use a different name here. You can make it animated. I've already shown you this many a times in my earlier classes as well. Earlier sessions also have shown how you can use animated and striped in, I think in button or in badge. I've showed you this. I'm not sure, but yeah, I've used this. I remember. So let's go back. Let's save this, and you can see here that it is moving. Okay, earlier it was just an striped way of looking, but now it is also moving. So you can do that as well. Right, again the same thing. What you can do is see here what we have done is we have created a progress, right? And inside that we have a progress bar, correct? So the progress is the gray color part and this progress bar is the blue color part, right? Again, when we created another div, we have created an another progress, and then inside that another progress bar, right? So what's happening, a different gray color progresses is showing here, correct? We have this one, and then we have this one, then we have this one, then we have this one, correct? What if I do not create a gray progress and I just put up progress bars? So I mean to say, what if I do something like this? I just remove it from here, and inside this itself I'll put this, right? So let's check out what is happening. So if you look here, you can see 70% it is showing me the blue color part, and the 40% is showing me here. Again, it's very clumsy, and you can see what is happening, right? So let me just make it much more proper. So what I'm going to do here is I'll not give this, I'll just make it a default size, a default height. This one also I'll just make it a default height. Let's give here 20%. So none of the height is 40%. The height is not anywhere 40%, is just the by default size, which is 20%. I'm just using that. But instead of using different bars, the progress gray color things, instead of using that, I'm only using one gray color part, and that is already of 100%. So I'm just trying to fix it. Let's say if I'm giving here also as 20%. Okay, and let's remove this. So I have two progress things, the gray color things, which is this one, and the other was this one. The first one is having three progress bars including inside. So let's see what's happening. So have a look. 20, 40, 60, and then 80. You can see what's happening, right? So inside one progress bar, we are getting all those things, but in a different format. So here also you can, this is also called as a progress bar, but multiple progress you are showing here. Okay, so this also you can do in a different color or in a different slide format or in an animated format. You can do that as well, right? So this is how you can do a multiple way of using the progress bars. Fine. So this was all about progress. Let's move to our spinners, which I was talking about. So how can you use these spinners? And this is mostly used in our loading part. So whenever you have something which is getting loaded, or you are writing a backend programming language in which you are saying that if the server is taking time to load, then do this thing in the front end, right? So whenever the server is taking time to load, then this spinners will be coming into showcase. It will just pop up and you can understand that, okay, the page is getting loaded, right? So let's try to understand how do we do that. I'm just going to comment it, or I'll just remove it so that you do not get confused. And here we are going to create our spinners. Again, understand that spinners can be used inside a container. So we have to first create a container and then we can start using our spinners. Also, you can see here that I have not created any CSS file or JS file. It's all HTML which I'm writing, and inside HTML itself, I'm using all these classes and all, right? So there's no extra file which I'm creating, right? So only in 30 to 40 lines, you're creating such a big change in your web page. That's the main thing about Bootstrap. So now let's create that spinner. So here we have div, and in the div, what we are going to do is we are going to create a class. We are going to say container empty3, right? And here we're going to just give a div, a class again, and then a spinners. So I'm just writing a spinner border till now. Only this much, nothing else. I've just written spinner border. Let's check out what is happening when I'm doing this. Later on, I'll change these classes to anything else. But right now, let's check out what is happening. So if you look here, this particular spinner is coming up here. So you can see how is it revolving. If you go to inspect body, you can see here there's a class container3, which is that, and empty3 is basically margin, which is given. So that's what is the margin. The green color things also you can see, and this is the spinner. If I open this up, this is the spinner. Okay, so you can see how it is showing you and how is it moving. So you can see the height and width also, right? So it's something, let me just keep it here. If you can see closely, there's something which is getting revolved round and round, right? And it is designed, that means some logic is written behind that, right? And that logic is basically inside your CDN links. So inside CDN links, spinner border is a class in which it's written that it's a square box which is appearing in a circular way, which is getting revolved. That's what is happening. So it is giving a height and width value, making it animated. You can do this thing using on normal CSS also, but yeah, then you have to use rotate, transform, all those things to make it animated. Okay, but if you are using Bootstrap, directly you can do it. right? And you must have seen this in many of the web pages, like uh, whenever the page is getting loaded, these kind of things you can see. Here what you can do is you can also uh, use it in different colors. So here, let's say that I'm writing text primary. Let's check out what happens. So you can see here, there's the change, right? The color is getting changed, and you must be knowing what is primary, again, success warning and all. You can use this if you want to change the colors. So let me just show you one more thing. So have a look. This is only one container inside which I'm writing these four. If you look here, this is the only one container inside which I'm putting up these four, right? That's why this is showing you in this manner. So all are different colors, but all are moving in a certain way, in a similar way, right? This is nothing like this is moving. These all are synchronous, right? All these are not moving in just in their own way. No, there's a certain degree, there's a certain time limit which is given here to these codes. That's why it is moving like that. What if I'm putting inside in a शायद इतना सैड होकर क्यों पढ़ा रहे हो? Okay, maybe because it's morning time. uh, I'll try to change it. I'll try to see how I can make it much more entertaining. But yeah, thank you for that suggestion. I'll keep that in mind. Okay. So let's say that I have the different containers. Okay. I'm just going to remove this. And let's keep another container here again. Do let me know what's gonna happen if I'm doing this in this manner. Do you think it's gonna be in a different line, or what is going to happen? So here I'm going to paste this. So if you look here, this is the change which I'm getting. Okay, why is it so? Because this is a different container. This was different container, and this was different container. So why I'm showing you this? Let's say that you have different articles in your web page, right? You must be knowing what is an article. Basically, all the web pages are having headers, footers, articles, different sections, right? So if you have different articles, let's say first one is your first blog, the second one is the second blog, third one is the third blog, right? So in the first blog, it's already getting loaded. So it is showing you the first blog, but the second blog is taking time to load, right? So meanwhile, the first blog you're reading, the second blog will load. You must have seen that many a times. Many a times in Instagram also, if you load, when you pull out the comments, you can see it's getting loaded, right? Because the server is taking time to fetch the other comments, right? That's what is happening. So that's a different section which is getting provided. Same thing you can do here. That's where we need different containers. So one container is one part of the display where the user can only see one part of the text. The another part of the text is in the another container, and to load it, we use these. Okay, so that the another part of the container can be loaded. I hope you are getting what I'm saying. If you have not understood, again I'm going to explain in a normal way. You must have seen when we are using Instagram, you're scrolling reels, right? When you're scrolling reels, you can see that at one moment, your reels, when you slide, you'll see it's getting loaded. Maybe because the internet is slow and it is not being able to fetch the other reels, right? So it is showing you that circular thing, correct? So that's a container. One reel is one container in which that reel is coming. Another container is taking time to load. Meanwhile, that will happen once the loading is completed, the another reel will come up, right? So that's where you use this kind of things. Okay, perfect. So let's move to our another part. Now you have seen here spinner border, right? So we only have the color in the border, right? if you've seen this spinners, we have only the colors in the borders. We have one more kind of spinners which is grow. So let me just show you that. In that case, you don't have to do anything. You have to just remove this and you just write here grow. So if you look at this, this is what is grow. So it's not only showing you the border part, but it is something like growing. And this kind of loading you will see in the dot uh, uh, when it's written loading, and then there are small three dots after loading, and it just blinks, right? So this is what it is. Right now the height and width or the font size of this is very big. That's why it is looking like this. But you can make it small and you can use it after writing loading text. It will look amazing, right? So these are the different ways you can again use different colors on that. I'm not going to show you that. Uh, just in the just now I have told you that you can use loading, and after that loading you can use three dots, right? Let me just show you how you can use that. I'll use text success itself, spinner grow, and here what I'm going to do is, because I'm using grow, I'll use this spinner grow SM. Okay, let's first check out what is happening. Later on we will change the code. First let's check out what is happening. So if you look at this, you can see here this is the spinner grow. Okay, SM means small, and this SM, LG, XL, double XL, I've already told you. If you're not remembering this, go ahead and watch the sessions of Bootstrap 1, Bootstrap 2. You will be getting reminded of that, because I have told you about grid systems, and you should be knowing how grid system is working in different mobiles, in different displays, right? And how you are changing your one particular property of one element in different mobiles or different sizes, display sizes, right? So that's where we use SM, LG and all. You can use that as well. Let's say that I'm using this and I am changing all of these to the same thing. So okay, I was not in the code. Yeah, so now you can see I've just changed these all two of them also in that same manner, so you can see how it is looking. This you must have seen in some of the web pages. This thing you must have seen in some of the web pages, not in the different colors, but yeah, you must have seen this. So this is also one of the amazing thing which you can use, right? And again, this is all about classes, so make sure that you are remembering all these classes. Remember that I told you about this rounded pill, and I told you also about one more thing, which was this. You were having one button and then you have added some badges near it, right? So it was looking like some notifications are there that you have 4 new messages. So you just click on that button and 4 new messages will be shown to you, right? That's what this does. So in the same manner, what we can do is we can also use a button with spinners as well. So what I have to do here is, let's say I'm going to create a different container, not going to use the same one, empty3. Inside this, now here when we are writing this, let's create a button. Okay, yes, it is used for loading sign. I'm just going to show you how to use this. The question which you have asked, it is used for the loading sign. That's what I'm going to show you right now. So just have a look how it can be used. You must be knowing this, right? Button btn primary, what it will do, it will provide a button. It's not bg primary, it's btn primary, so it's basically giving you a blue color in the button. So that's what I've done. Inside the button, what I'm going to do is, remember earlier also I wrote this thing, I wrote this button part, and then we wrote this span, right? Same thing I'm going to do. So span, why I'm writing first span, because I want the loading sign first, so that's why I'm writing span. What is that? Spinner border, right? And let's say I've not used this, so let me just use it also. Okay, this was the span in which I've used it. And here after span, I can use any text, whatever I want. First of all, let me just show you how this will appear. So I'm just going to go back to my thing. So here you can see what is happening. That's a button. It's not just a badge, it's a button, right? So if I move my mouse over it, you can see it's becoming a click sign. So it's a button. Okay. Now here what changes I can do is, this is not looking very much cool. So I can go to my code. Here I can just write loading. With a space. You can see now how is it looking. And you must have seen these things in many of the places, right? Again, if you do not want to make it a button, because most of the times loading is not a button, loading is just a kind of badge or something which just shows that it is loading. It's normally not a button. I have just created it as a button. So you can remove the button, you can make it as a badge as well. Okay, just the way how I have done it in earlier code. This one. Okay, you can just make it as a badge. So that will also work. Fine. So this is also what you can do. One more thing what you can do is you can make the button disabled. This I have shown you in the earlier code as well. So disabled will make sure that the button is not clickable. So if I go back to my browser, if I save this, this is not disabled. The mouse hovering is not happening. The mouse thing is not getting changed, so it is disabled. Again, you can use your spinner. I've used spinner border. You can use the spinner grow, and that will do the same thing. The grow thing will come up. Okay, that's what is all about spinners. Any doubt till here? We have seen two things. Spinners and progress bars. Let me know if you have any doubts. Otherwise, we'll move to another topic. Okay, the session will finish at 12 p.m. right? Two topics are done, so I think more 2 to 3 topics we can do. So let's try to complete that. And at 1 p.m. I think I'll be back with another Bootstrap part, which is part 4. And then maybe day after tomorrow we'll be taking some projects based on Bootstrap, so that we can at least complete Bootstrap. Okay, let me know if you have any doubts. That comment was awesome. इतना sad हो के क्यों पढ़ा रहे हो? Okay, cool. So let's get started. Now this is a pagination. You must have seen many times uh, in some of the e-commerce websites. Like if you have Myntra or Amazon, you must be seeing that after one page of results, it has to go to the second page. Most common example is Google. But yeah, in most of the e-commerce websites also you can see that. So one web page, and then if you want to see another products, you have to click on the paginations like 1, 2, 3. So you click on second page, it goes to the second page. If you click on third page, it goes to the third page. That you can also do it using CSS. And I think in one of the project I have shown you how to do that, right? In one of the project when I was doing it using HTML, CSS and JavaScript, I showed you how to create paginations, right? But that was using a lot of CSS commands, properties and values. Here, let's try to understand how we can do it using only Bootstrap. Again, understand that if border and badges are using some classes, then this will also be having some classes, right? So do not forget that whenever you are using something, you have to have a class inside it. So what I'm going to do here is, let's create a class. Okay. You can write anything in between those two divs which I'm writing right now. You can write anything inside that, but any which ways, if you do not want to write, that's totally fine. It's all upon you. So I'm just going to create here a class which is called as pagination, Spelling does matter here because Bootstrap again is all about classes. So if you're not using any particular class which is spelling is wrong or something is wrong, some words, letters are missing, it won't work. Okay, so try to be very strict about this. So here I'm using a class which is page item. Have a look very close because this is not like a normal easy program which you are doing it in for button or badges. This is something unique. You must be knowing that all the pages links 1 2 3 or are links, right? That's what we are doing here. Why are we using list? There's no explanation. You must be knowing why are we using list. Obviously because paginations are in a list format. We are using it in a list format. Class Bootstrap class of pagination also tells you that if you're not using li, we will not work the way you want us to work. So whenever you're using pagination, you need to use li. So in this, we have to use a class which is page link. Here you can provide any particular link which you want to give. Right now I'm just keeping it as empty. Okay, and let's write here previous. Similar way I can, because it's the same UL, I'm not going to create another UL because in the same list I want it. So what you can do here is you can change this to now different numbers. I hope none of the spellings are wrong. Let's check out what is happening. So if you look at this, you can understand what we have done, right? So this is how it will show you. Previous 1 2 3, again the colors I have not given. Nowhere I've written primary. Text is already in blue color. Nowhere I've written that. Whenever I'm hovering, it's coming in gray color. Nowhere I've written that. I've just mentioned a list tag in which it's unordered, and I've just written some classes which is pagination, page item, and page link. Remember these classes. I'm just going to keep the screen in the code for some time so that you can at least see that what is basically happening there. Okay, so just have a look for some time. So in Bootstrap, what if we want to place containers side by side like cards? We use CSS position properties. How to align those in Bootstrap? Please take this question. I'm confused here. Okay, so yeah, next topic is cards. Okay, so in those I'm going to show you how to do that. Let me just read your comment once again. I have to be very confident about it. What if you want to place containers side by side? Yeah, like cards. Properties, how to align those in Bootstrap? Yeah, perfect. So cards will help you out in there. Once I reach in cards, I'll just take pagination, then I'll take list groups, and after that I'll be taking cards. So in cards, I'll teach you how to do that. I answered your question. You want to place your cards side by side. In position, when you do it, you have to use absolute, relative, and all, and it takes a lot of common sense. Many of you will get confused there, but in Bootstrap you can do it easily. So I'm just going to show you that. Just wait for some time. Maybe in this session or maybe at 1 p.m. session if it doesn't take much time. But yeah, I'm going to show you that. So this is what you can do. Okay, here let's say I am in page number 1. So what I can do here is I can write here active. So let's have a look what's happening. You look at this page 1 is active. This is a normal thing. You know this very well. You have used this in many places. So that's what it is. Also, many of the places you must have seen that let's say you are in page number 1. Obviously before page number 1 there will be no page, right? So what you want to do is you want to make this previous thing as disabled. So you can do that as well. Let's save this. Let's go back. Let's check out. 1 second. This disabled is not. Yeah. Hi, Surya. Yeah, so now it will work. Let's check out. I can see here. This is disabled. Cool. Now, you will be thinking that how this is working in any of the web page, because if I click on one, right, if I click on uh, this link, one link, the first page will appear, right? Correct. And by default also the first page will appear. So when by default the first page is appearing, the first page will be in active state and the previous will be in disabled mode, right? But let's say that I'm clicking on second page. I'm clicking on second page. Now this one should be in active state, right? And the previous should be in uh, active state again. Because if I click on previous, it should move from 2 to 1, right? But then how this is happening? Because right now I just know that I can do this using Bootstrap. What I can do here is I can go back, I can change the code, I can do here this page 2 as active, and I can do this disabled as active, right? But as a developer, how many times you have to change? You can't do that, right? It should be automatic. It should be like user is doing it and it is happening, right? So that's where backend programming languages come. Okay. So in backend programming languages, what happens? We write a code where we have those logics, right? Where we have those logics that we say that if this is clicked, then do this. If that is clicked, then do this, right? So that's where we use those logics. So in that cases, if I'm using a Java programming language or a Python programming language, what codes we'll write? First of all, we'll connect our front end with backend, right? So this particular Bootstrap code or the file will be connected with our backend programming language, and now we can use this classes in our backend, and we can say that if the user is clicking page number 2, then your page number, your previous button, button or badge, whatever it is, will get active state. Okay, so you can use the if else conditional. Again, you will say that if there are 100 pages, you have to write 100 if and else conditions. No, you can just write a logic. You can write that if the next button is clicked, any next button, any like 99, 98 or 57, any particular next button is clicked, the previous button should get enabled. It should get active mode. So once you write that particular backend programming language, and once the user will click here, the codes will get changed here. The codes which is written here will automatically get changed. Okay, the developer need not have to do that. It will already it will be happening because your backend programming language is doing it. Okay, so that's why people say that if you want to become a front-end developer, you only know the upper part of it. You only know the front level of it. You do not know the internal level, how it is happening, because you do not care about it. Backend people will be knowing about how they can connect it. But yeah, this doesn't make sense. Even if you're a front-end developer, if you do not know how this is getting active and disabled, then you will be in doubt. You'll be always in doubt that I am creating this, but I do not know how does it work, right? So again, try to get that knowledge as well. That is very amazing. You will be shocked to see how that is happening, because imagine you're clicking on 2, and once you're clicking on 2, that 2 is becoming active and this previous is becoming disabled. This previous is becoming active again. And when you click on previous, that 2 blue color thing will again become white and 1 will become blue again. And the code changes you can see here. It's happening automatically. So try to do those things. When you do that, then only you'll be able to see the changes which you are making in your web pages, right? So yeah, that's how it happens. If you have any doubts, this was the explanation of that. Hi Surya, please provide more projects on JavaScript. Okay. I think I've done some advanced projects on JavaScript. If you have already checked it out and then you are saying it, then let me see what other projects I can create. If you can give me some idea, I can do that. Let's see. because right now I was not having this in any plans. Let me just write it down. So JS projects, which is what you are recommending. So let's see. I'm waiting for live classes, but today I got it. Thank you. So your teaching style best. I like your teaching. Thank you, Surya. Yeah, I was not coming. December, I did not take any sessions. I'm just back in January. So I have some plans. I'll be doing that. Don't worry about that. I'll be continuous in January, February, and all. So yeah, everything is there. Watch my sessions. See what all plans I've told you about January. Schedule will also be coming always. So please provide JS project. Yeah, we will do that. Hi, Jitendra. We'll see. I'll see how and what else other projects we can come up with. I think I've done some beginner projects, but not very advanced ones. Let's see if I can come up with that as well. Cool. So this was about your page links disabled and all. Now let's show you the part where I am using a different kind of class. So here I'll be using Pagination LG, and here I'll be using Pagination SM. See, guys, every Bootstrap classes are not getting explained in this playlist. Okay, these are all those classes and all those CSS properties, all those HTML parts, all those projects, all those JS concepts, which will be asked in an interview. So this playlist is only based on an interview perspective, not in the sense that you can build a e-commerce website based on that. You can, but again, this is all based on your interview. What all questions can be asked in interview, that's what is getting explained here. Okay, so do not think that only this much is there in Bootstrap, or only this much is there in SCSS, or only this much is there in CSS. No, all the programming languages are very vast. There are a lot of topics which nobody will explain you in any of the videos. You have to find it in your own way. You have to do self-study. You have to research. That's how it happens. Most important ones is what we are teaching in all of the tutorials, right? So be very sure about why you are watching these sessions. Be very sure about when you have to give an interview. It's not important that once Ritwik sir will finish all this playlist, one Ritwik sir will finish React.js, then only I'll be starting the sessions, watching the sessions and creating the projects, and then I'll give interview. No, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. If you're done with your HTML, CSS and JavaScript, wait, revise, go ahead and give interviews. You will get rejected, I know, but that is one more advantage for you. You'll get rejected, but you'll get an idea which kind of questions are getting asked, whether if that is matching with what Ritwik sir has told me, right? And then you will again watch those sessions, you'll again give some interviews, and one time will come when you'll get placed. Okay, so do that. Could you make a project which is also able to keep in resume? Again, Manoj, this also I've told you many times. Projects I can do which you can put it in a resume, but you will not stand out. Right now in this era, interviewer needs one kind of that kind of project which they have not seen in their life, and that you can only create when you are doing it on your own. Portfolio projects I can create my own portfolio in front of you, and I can show you that you can do this, you can do that. But if you replicate that same thing, if you replicate that and you show it in a resume, remember that 1,000 and 2,000 people are watching this live session. More and more number of people are watching this live sessions. If they will also do the same thing, you're not unique, right? So I can give you ideas, I can give you a different kind of projects, but you have to make a change on those projects. You have to do some changes on those projects. You have to include some different kind of concepts in those projects, which is yours, which is your unique thing, which you have done in that. So you can at least say to your interviewer that, sir, or not sir, maybe his name, you can say that I have done this project by looking into one of the tutorial, but I tried to add one of the functionality, and I understood that how I can add that functionality in this project, and that's why I created this project. That's how you need to do it. If every tutorial will give you a particular project, then you won't be unique. I hope you're getting my point. So I have created some of the projects in my playlist. Do watch it, get an idea based on that. Try to add some new functionalities of yours in that, and then put it in a resume. Okay, that's what is my suggestion. I know I'm not wrong, but yeah, that is what it is. Okay, so this I was showing you the LG and SM. So this, I think you must be knowing what's gonna happen. So just have a look. This is by default the large and the small size. The large ones, maybe you'll not use it anytime, but yeah, there's a there's a class in which you can do that, and there's an SM. This is the smallest one, which every time you will use. Let me just show you. If I remove this SM, does it change? So it does change. So when you're not writing anything, that's your medium. Okay, uh, that's your by default wala thing. So you can see here I have removed the SM from here. That's a by default size. You did see the change which was happening there. Okay. Uh, Fine. So now here, let's say that is 1 second. Here, what I can do is, you must have seen many of the websites, again, Mintra and any of the pages. Most of the time, the pagination is on the center or is on the uh, left hand side, right? So how do we do that? Here you have to write justify content center. Let's check out this first. Okay, it came in the center. This one is on the left hand side. Let me just move back to the code, and I will also do one more thing. I'll just write here and again, understand there's nothing called as justify content left or right. It's either start or end. So what does end means? End means that it will be on the corner. So you can see in that corner that particular thing is coming. Many developers do that as well. Pagination will be in the that side. You can do that as well, but this is how you do it. By default, this is the start. This is the start. Even if I will change it to start, this should work. Justify content start, you can write, it will work. Okay, so that is your movement of your pages wherever you want it. Again, one more new thing which you can use is nothing but breadcrumb. So have a look. You just have to write breadcrumb. Okay, and here, so again, this is not a pagination. This is something unique. Some same something like pagination, but a different than that. Now, what is happening in breadcrumb? Basically, you must have seen in your folders, right? Whenever you in your laptop, whenever you're opening a folder, you can see one path there, right? D drive, and then slash, and then maybe users, then slash, then Ritwik, then slash music, right? So that kind of thing, that path is called as breadcrumb. So have a look, how does it appear when you do it in Bootstrap? So we use these kind of classes here, class breadcrumb. Same thing where we have used page item, we use here breadcrumb item. And because this will be also a link, so we'll have same thing. Okay, and here you can add any particular name. So let's say I want to give here home. Let's say inside home, you have something called as careers, and inside careers, let's say that you have jobs, and we will also keep one more thing. apply, and this we will make it as active. So what's happening here? Basically, there are four, three folders, and at last I'm reaching out till here. So it's basically home. Inside homes, we have clicked on careers, then we clicked on jobs, and then we clicked. You must have seen this in Naukri and Indeed. I'm not sure in which one, but you must be seen in those kind of pages where you click on home. Inside that, you click on careers. Inside that, you click on jobs, and there'll be a path showing you. So let me just show you how does it appear. If you look at this, this is how it appears. Now, I think you must have got an idea what is a breadcrumb. So if you click on home, it will take you to the home page. That link you can provide here, that home.html, you can provide it here. It will take you to that. You want to go back, you can either click on this, the button, or you can click on directly jobs. It will come back to jobs. But yeah, this is how it happens. Again, there's no code which is written for that slash and the link and all. Once again, I'll just show you. So if you click here, if you click here, you click here, this is the container with the MT3 type. Breadcrumb is this part. So the whole area is the breadcrumb, not only that one part. The whole area is breadcrumb. This is the first breadcrumb item. This is the second breadcrumb item. Again the third, and again the fourth. So with that, a slash also comes in that you need to understand. Okay. This was all about your pagination and breadcrumbs. Now let's move ahead and let's try to see some list groups. Any questions till now? We have half an hour more, so we'll try to cover some more topics. JS project, let me see what we have done. I'm not sure if you guys have seen all my playlist. So let me just check out what all things we have done. Okay, so we started with HTML, CSS. Yeah, there is JavaScript Mix Projects 4 and JavaScript Mix Projects 5. And in those mixed projects, I have started with digital clock, calculator, tic-tac-toe, games. Yeah, all of those things I've done. Some pages also I've created. Some web apps also I've created. Some websites like a e-commerce website, something kind of that. Let's see what else I can come up with. Interview questions also I have done. And then I did advanced JavaScript. In advanced JavaScript, I did not do any of the project because it was not required. Because in most of the time in JavaScript interview, you will be asked questions directly. They will not say that use this concept in this project. They will not say that. Whatever projects you have done in your resume, they'll try to fetch out some questions from that project. That what have you done in that project? How can you enhance it? What other features you can add in that project? That's what they'll question you. That's why I did not do any advanced JavaScript projects. But let's look at it out. Let's see what I can come up with. Okay. So let's try it now. The easiest one, which is the list group. So I'll just comment this. This is list group, which is very easy. Later on we have cards, which is bit much complicated, but yeah, so let's check out. So again, we have class, we will do container M33. Always we are doing this because we need to have a container inside which anything will be shown. So that's what we are doing. Again, a class, and in this class we are going to write just list group. The easiest way to remember these classes is to remember the topics. If you remember the topics, like what all things I've covered here. So like today, what all things we have covered? We have covered about badges, progress bars, spinners, pagination, list groups, right? So these are the names of the classes. Pagination, progress bars. You know that these are the classes. So if you know the topics, you will be remembering the class names as well. So this is one way of remembering. Like somebody asked, right, that we need to remember the class names. So if you're finding it difficult, practice and remembering the topic names will help you out. Again, the inner parts is already same. You can see breadcrumb item. We have also written there pagination item. Sorry, not pagination item. Yeah, pagination item. Uh, button. So all the classes are same. It's just the prefix difference. That's it. So let's say this is the first part in the list group. By the name itself, you can understand what is it. So it's just a list which is in a group. This you must have seen in many of the web pages also, that there's a group of list which you want to select. So that is what it is. Let's see what is happening here. So you can see here that it is showing me a group of list. You can make it active again the same way you can make any particular item active. You have to just write here active. This you have done it in most of the cases, so you must be knowing how to do that. That is one way of doing it. This we have done using ul and li, so it's coming as a list, right? Again, when you're doing pagination or breadcrumb, you can see that I've used ul and li. In this case, you have to use ul and li, but when you're using list group, there is a different way how you can write it in. So you create a div, you create a class. Let's say I'm giving here a container empty3. Now here, do not use ul, use div, write a class. You can use these classes in any of the elements, so it doesn't matter whether you're using a ul or a div. You can use it anywhere. So I'm just using it inside a div, and now I can use href. Now that's a link, so you can also click on those. Earlier it was just an li, it was just to show that that's a particular part, but right now we are providing a link, so that means it can be clicked as well. Here I'm going to put up it as list group item. Also with that, I'm going to put up here list group item action. One second, SpecG, I will take your comment. Just let me finish this. Okay, perfect. So these are the three links which I've created, which is not a ul and li part, which is not a list, but instead it's a link. So you can click on those links. Again, understand these are not buttons, these are links. So only the link will be created. That means only the first item will be clickable. Okay. So let's save this. Let's check out what is happening. I'll be getting two parts because I have two divs. So this one is your ul and li. That's a list. You can see you can't click, but this one you can see that you can click. Okay. Again, the click has been given to only this text, but you can see that even if you click here, it will load. Why is it so? Because of this part. Okay, that's why it will get loaded whenever you click here or here, anywhere, right? So this is what is one of that. Also, you can, if you want to add active here, I think you can use this as well. So this will become active, right? That's what it is. Have a look at this code. If you're doing it with me, do it. So for implementing Bootstrap, do we need any prerequisite software or a zip file including the files or importing from a URL? I haven't joined at the starting of the session, my bad. Okay. So yes, we need URLs. These are called as CDN links. Earlier we were having only CSS links of CDN for Bootstrap, or you can see a Bootstrap link. But nowadays we do have two links which you have to add for Bootstrap. This is the newest Bootstrap, which is Bootstrap 5. So you can see here the version name is given, Bootstrap 5.1.2. So this is one of the link which is of CSS, and this is one of the link which is of JS. You need to add these in your particular HTML file, so that you can make use of all these classes and all, because all these classes are defined inside this CDN link. Where you will get these links? You will get these links inside Bootstrap ka official document, right, which is getbootstrap.com. You will get the CDN links there. Otherwise, in any tutorial links also you will get it directly, right? Otherwise, you can just write it down directly from here. Don't do that. It will take a lot of time. Go ahead and click on getbootstrap.com. You will directly get that link in the first page. So yes, you need this. One more thing, once you do that, that's also fine. What also you can do is you can download a zip file. This is an or situation. That's not mandatory. Either you do this or you download this file, which again you will get it in getbootstrap.com. You will get it there. Once you download that, you can add this zip file in the folder in which you are writing a project. So this is the project which I'm doing, first program, right? And in this folder, I have kept this folder, the Bootstrap, the downloaded folder. Here you have these two files. So basically this file is this link, and basically this folder is this link. Okay, that's what it is. So either you do that, either you do this, your Bootstrap will work fine. This is what is your list group, and I think this much is enough. Disabled and all, I think you can do it. You can use disabled just the way I've used active. You can use disabled, that will get disabled. I don't think I need to show you that, but yes, there's one more thing which I need to show you. So let me just show you this one. So instead of list group, if you look at it here, you can see there's a border here, right? So for all the lists, we have different borders individually, right? Have a look at it now. So what I'm going to do here is list group. Here I'm going to write list group flush. Okay. And we have list group item. These all things are fine. So let's check out what is happening. So can you see this? The side borders are now not there. Okay. Only the underlines are there. That means the horizontal part is there. If I go to inspect element, why I'm always going to inspect element and showing you that, you should be knowing what is that flush doing, right? This question can be asked in interviews as well if they are asking questions based on Bootstrap. So you can see there's a flex property which is written here already. So it is showing you that the flex is used here. And also if you look here, this is list group flush, which is the whole part. So that's the thing. And because it's written here flex, so it is showing that the border is not there. They have used some properties in flex so that this side borders can be removed. That's what you will understand from there. One more thing what you can do is you can remove this list group flush. You can write numbered. In this case, all the list will be coming up it as numbered. So by default, you will see 1, 2, 3, right? I've not written that, but it is showing me in numbered way. That also you can do. You can also color those. So you know how to color success and all, success warning and all. So in that case, what you will do is there already active is written. So I'm not going to use that here. Let's say I'm using it. So list group item. Let's I'm using warning. And let's say in this one, I'm going to use danger. This will not be that bright because you need to see the text as well. So let's have a look. How does it appear? If you look at this, this is not that bright. This is just like a faded version. So The active state is an active state. That's not a primary color, right? This is an active state. That's why it's very dark. But the others are the colors. The others are the background colors. So that's why it is little bit faded. If I remove this active, right? And if I just paste there the primary part, you can see the difference. Okay. That's what is the difference between those colors and the active state. I hope there is no confusion in this. I hope this makes sense. So again, one more example we'll see how we can use list groups with the badges also. Okay, we can use these with badges. Let me just show you. One more BR we'll make. We'll write the code from the starting and let's just see how we can add some more things. Okay, and here we're going to give a normal list group. Next, again, this is not a anchor tag, so you can't be able to click it, but you can again use a tag. That's all upon you. Right now I'm just using ul and li. So list group item. Now have a look what I'm doing. So I'll be writing some of the things. Just understand whether you are being able to understand it or not. I'm using deflex. I'm using justify content between. If you know CSS properties, you must be knowing what is justify content between. Also, you must be knowing what is the difference between align items center and justify content and justify items as well. If you know the difference between these two, your flex topic is very much good. If you do not know what is flex, go ahead and watch the tutorials which I have done. You must be knowing about that as well. Whenever you use flex, you do use justify content and align items. Check out what are those if you do not know the difference between those. This is direct written class, so already these the properties of these are already written inside the predefined Bootstrap code, so we do not have to worry about the CSS part of it. We have just written it simply. Here I'm just going to write inbox. That's just a normal text, and now I'm going to use a span to give the badge. So again, we are using badge, so I can give badge a color. So let's say I'm using not success, let's say primary itself, because most of the time, or we can use danger also. Most of the time notifications are coming in red color, so that's why I'm using that. I can use here, as I told you that later I'll be using rounded pill, so using that. Let's say there are 23 messages or 23 notifications or inbox messages which is coming up. You must have seen this many times in your Gmail, right? Beside inbox, they'll be written the number. Those are nothing but the badges. So let's see one of the example first, and then we are going to create some more li. Okay. Let's see first how this is looking, or this is appearing. So if you look at this is how it is looking. So again, I hope now you must have understood what is deflex, what is justify content between, and what is align item center. Okay, so this is what are those features doing, and you can also do this. Right, so that is how also you can do. So the meaning of showing this is that you can use buttons with badges, you can use anchor tags as well, you can use ul li with badges. So all those things you can mix it up, but just remember that how you're using the classes. Right now you can see here that when I've used badge class, then only I have used these BG danger and rounded pill. Okay, so again, whenever you use this list group item, there itself I've used these things. So remember where you're using which properties. This should not mismatch. If you're mismatching it, it won't work. So again, trying to say you that go ahead and see MDN docs or see the Bootstrap documentation. Try to find out which classes will be used with which other classes and what it can create. Okay, you'll get a better idea with that. Or otherwise, uh, if you want to just be strict to main topics, this tutorial is enough, right? But I'll suggest you to go ahead and try out different documents that will really help you out. Okay, we'll do some cards, we'll create some cards, and then we are going to end this session. Let me just see if I can show you some amazing cards. Okay, I'm going to comment this because there's a lot of code here. Now we are creating a card. This is one of the topic which is really very important for all the front-end developers, because you have to create a card even if you're creating any particular web page. Any web page you're creating, you have to create cards, right? Cards are basically like whenever you go to Amazon, you click on one product, right? Or you search for any of the product, right? You see a lot of results. Those all results are nothing but in the form of card. So you have one product shown, then in beside of that one other product shown, then another product shown, then another product shown. That is how these all cards are displayed. The same thing we can create here using Bootstrap, and we'll start from basic first, then we'll keep on adding stuffs to it. Okay, so first of all, just starting with the container. Again, understand that the cards will be having different styles. So let's say that one card is a normal card. What it is having? It's having an image, the product image, the product name, and the product details, maybe the description, right? And it's always in a box kind of a structure, correct? So don't you think we need to first create the card first, the normal box first? So that's what we are doing. We are first creating a normal card. Again, the topic says card, so the class name is also card. That's how you can remember the class names. Class, this is just the card body, so that's what I'm writing here. Basic card. Okay, now again, I have not used any image, I have not used any content, I have not used any header or footer inside it. So it's just a normal basic card. It will not show you anything. It will just show you one text inside which a card is written. That's it. So we got a container. That's a container. Later on, we will resize this. We'll make it appear in one corner of the page. Okay. And inside that, we'll add one image, add one description. It will become a card. So this is the normal design of a card, a normal basic format of a card. Now let's add some stuffs to it. Okay, let's add some header, container, or something like that to it. So you don't have to do anything. You have to just add here one more class. Just add the header class right here, header. Similarly, you can add the footer as well. So I'm just going to remove this. Okay, so let's check out what is happening. Again, this is not another card which I've created. This is just a same card, but inside the same card I've just added one header and footer. So this is how it is appearing. So you have a header, you have the basic card informations, and then you have the footer. In header, if you want to directly add the image, you can do that. If you do not want to add the image, you just want to have an header, you can also do that. But this is again a normal format of the card. Now let's try to see some more details of it. Again, you can add colors. So Same thing, .bg primary, .bg dark, .bg light, success warning, those all things like you can do. Right now I'm not doing that because I want to show you directly how to create a card out of it directly. So let me just do that. Okay, so in this body, right, which we have written here, inside which I've just written basic card, let's try to add some body details of it. That means the description of it. So what I'm going to do here is, let's say I'm going to add one h4. Okay, and in this, obviously because inside this I'll be having the card description. So first of all I need the card title. Okay, in this card title I'm just going to say, let's say Ritwik Raj. This is the card title. Okay, next what I'm going to do here is card text. He's an experienced trainer with more than 3 years of experience. Okay, normal text which I've written to just make sure that there's a paragraph inside this card. And next I'm going to just add some links. So again, in a card also you need to have some links. You can add that directly here. Just the way you've written card title, card text, you can add card link so that it makes it appear in a link way. So let's say that my LinkedIn ID is given here, and after that similarly my Instagram ID is given here, or we can say my GitHub link is given here. Fine. Let's check out what is happening. Again, header and footer, we have not done anything. It's only in the body part. So keep that in mind. So have a look. This is how it is appearing. Okay. If you want to resize, you can resize this, but you also want to add an image, you can add that. But this is how this card is created. Let's move again to the code and slowly let's make it more enhanced. Let's add some images, or let's try to make it much more complicated. So we have the card body, and before the card body we have the header, right? So let's try to add one more thing to it. We have the div class card. Let's give, because it is taking right now the whole space of the web browser, so let's try to add some width to it so that a normal width is given to it. So let's say the width of this is 400 pixel. Let's try to save this. Let's try to see what is happening in my. So you can see here the resizing is done. It's becoming here. So now it properly looks like a card. And now here what I can do is, instead of this header, what I can do is I'll remove this. Inside this card header, what I can do is I can use a image. So let's create a div here. Let's create a class here, because to use the image you have a different class. That's why I'm using a different div itself to use that class. So what I'm going to use here is, otherwise what I can do, I can directly use image. I think I have one image with me. So let's take this as the image. Okay, I've given the image name as well, and I'll also give the style. I'll just say 100% so that the image is getting covered, totally covered inside this 400 pixel. 100% means how much is the card, that much should be the image as well. So just using this, then same thing, div class card body, everything should be same. Let it be. The footer also I'll just let it be. Let's check out what is happening. So now you can see that's the card. Okay. So we have the image. I can put my image because that is my description and my name. So that's how it looks like. Okay. So this is how your card is created within just 10 number of lines. You can see here, we just start from here and we did that. Also, if you can see here, I have used this div here, right? Div class header, and inside that I've used the image, correct? And that's why you can see there's a gray color box here, and inside that gray color box there's this image, right? So let's say that I don't want this gray color part. I want this whole thing to be an image, this whole thing to be an image. So what I can do, you know, that you have to just remove that card header. So let's say you don't want the image to be inside the header, you don't want that gray color box, you just want that image to be there, that's it. So have a look, that becomes your image. Now do you think that it's looking like a Myntra product? How does it show you in your e-commerce website? You can always make your width pixels less, that's all upon you. So I've just made it 300 pixel. So remember, just imagine that you have a shoe image here, and you have a shoe name here, and you have a shoe description here, and you have the link here. It will just look like that, right? So that's one thing. The another thing is basically the overlay. So same concept, but what you can do here is, instead of body, you can just write image overlay. So what this is gonna do is, the text which was earlier down below the image, now what will happen is it will come up and it will show it in the image itself. So you have the background in which the image is coming, and the text is overlaid and it is showing here. Now why is it happening like that? You can change the text color, that's all upon you. But why is it happening like that? Because I've removed the body part. So you can see here, I've not written here card body. Instead of that, I've written card image overlay. So the text, whatever you're writing here, this whole thing will appear above the image. That's what it is showing you, right? So that's what you're done. Let's remove this. I don't want it in this manner. So let's keep it in this way. And now what you can do here is, if you want to create a side-by-side card, right? So again, understand, if I recreate this, let's say, if I recreate this, right? If I save this, you can see here what's happening. So why is it happening? So because you have one container, and again beside that you have the another container, right? That's why it is happening like that. Now, if you want this container to be here, what you should do? Try to see the code. Okay, try to see the code. This is the whole container which you are removing. This is the whole container which you have written here, right? Now, if I want not the container, just this part, how will you do that? Try to think. This is very easy. If I've explained you, if I've successfully explained you how to do this, now you can do some experiment and you can understand how to, yes, that's what I'm saying. Merge those and add it to the right. So try to do that. I'm not going to show you. This is just an assignment. Try to open up your Visual Studio Code, try to do this code, and try to see if you, how do you basically turn this thing here? How do you do that? Two ideas I'll give you. First thing, what you can do, you create one div container, that's a whole container. Inside that container, you have 3 divs, 1, 2, and 3. All of those are 300, 300, 300. So 300 pixel, 300 pixel, 300 pixel. So the bigger container is the large one. Inside that you have 3 containers. 1 card, 2nd card, and 3rd card. You can do that, right? Otherwise, what you can do is you do not have any big container. You directly have the 3 containers, 1, 2, and 3. Try to do that. See if you can do it. Otherwise, in the next session, I'm going to show you that. Okay. What you are saying is correct. Merge those and add it to the right. You can do that, but try to think there is something more to that. Try to see how you can bring that up here. Okay. So that's all about your Bootstrap part 3, because I've done a lot of things here, and we'll stop here. We will come back at 1 p.m. Let's see if I will. Uh, and then we'll try to cover up some more things, like we will cover up drop downs, collapse, navigation bars directly. How can you create navigation bars? I think at 1 p.m. Spexy. Today at 1 p.m. we will have another session. If not, we will update you. Okay, so do not worry about that. But yeah, you will be able to see that in the playlist as well. When you go to the new next playlist, you'll be next session, you'll be able to see that when I'm coming live. So try to see that. But yeah, most probably at 1 p.m. I'll be back. uh, so we'll see in that thing how to do carousel, how to do navigation bar, all those things we are going to see in that session. So I hope you really like this session. Let me just end this session with saying about Telegram and all. So you can join the Telegram channel as well, because here you'll get an update on all the notifications when a particular educator is coming live at what time. So please do the join the channel as well. Yes, you can do that. You can put a reminder, Spexy. And thank you for watching the whole session for 2 hours. Thank you so much for that. And please recommend this. If you have really liked this, please do tell other people also that they'll watch it, because I need some more audience. More audience will be there, then more people will be able to know that the sessions are going really awesome. Okay. So thank you so much. And also please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is CodeBeyond. Hit the notification bell so that you get an update and notifications in the mobile also. And please do like and share to your relatives, friends and fellows, so that they get to know, more and more number of people will get to know about this particular live sessions. Thank you so much guys. I'll meet you really soon at 1 p.m. Let's see. And bye bye. Take care.